All right, welcome into the Blueprint. It's been a while, too long, but we're happy to be back with you guys. Want to kick off this episode, Dev, with a subscriber challenge to all you guys, your viewers, the fans of the show. We're sitting at 14.6K subscribers, Dev. I think 15K is well within reach by kickoff week 1. So that's our challenge to you guys. Yeah. Get us to 15K, hit that like button, that subscribe button. And then, Dev, I noticed a new background, man. Congratulations. Do you want to break the news to the viewers? Or?
Oh, no, this is AI. This is green screen AI.
Yep, Got it.
Green screen. Yeah.
Well, congrats on the AI because it looks great.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, let's get into this episode. I was at practice for the BTN camp tour. I've been able to see actually a ton of teams across the conference, so I got great perspective. Dev, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go through some of my key takeaways and kind of feed off of you. Maybe actually, let's just start with Bryce, and then we'll get into the rest. What I saw with Bryce, and we now know he's been named captain. So that's captain for the season, confirmed. They want to stress test him. Like basically when we were talking to Jason Beck, when we're talking to Kyle Whittingham, they feel that he's taken major strides with his footwork, with his awareness, with his arm angles, pocket presence. And that showed up to me. I saw, for example, he had Savion Hyder out in the flat, easy throw, and he feathers it to him. Perfect. That's what you want to do to a freshman running back. You don't want to fire a dart in there, which is what he would have done last year. I saw some fade balls with nice, beautiful touch. Some dig routes over the middle of the field. He's not Brett Favre-ing it. He's throwing with tempo and pacing, but not trying to show off his arm strength. I was like, wow, that looks noticeably different. His footwork, his feet looked so much quieter in the pocket, and he was much more willing to stay in the pocket, but at times he scrambled. And it didn't seem to me like he was urgent and racing to leave the pocket. They did a red zone period. What I loved, it was first down in the red zone. They did an RPO. Defense shut it down. Bryce scrambled and then threw the ball away. Didn't force it. Threw the ball away early and with confidence. And I was like, wow, I love to see it. And that happened again later in the period. Threw the ball away because of great coverage. And I'm like, yes, I love to see it. Now, what came up when talking to Beck? Because those are all the things we've talked about. And I was like, I see progress. I didn't see it in spring practice. I did not see it. Looked noticeably different from spring practice. Of course,
I'm sure he was organic about it, right? I'm sure he was okay. Like he watched the same tape we watched, right? He's not crazy, right? And so I'm sure he was receptive to the criticism that you probably had.
And Beck said, and I'll kick it to you on this one. He's like, look, this is all great, but we're trying to make practice as game-like as possible because as you know, games are different. What they said at Utah last year, they're like, look, we had a veteran offense. We wanted our practice to be basically a glorified walkthrough. Yeah. Whereas this is a young offense. Bryce and your top 2 wide receivers are sophomores. Your RB2, true freshmen. Most of your O-linemen are guys that have been this. Now it's an experienced O-line. They were all underclassmen last year. So they want practice this year to be as game-like as possible. But of course, Dev, it wasn't live periods. No one's hitting Bryce.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Without you having been at practice, I don't know if you've seen practice for yourself yet.
Yeah, no.
What are you hearing there as I'm echoing what I saw and what Beck said?
So a few things. I think it's very difficult to get a beat on what it's like and what it's going to be like and how much improvement's been made and all the different things. However, in the spring game, he also wasn't getting hit. And it was no improvement, right? So the fact that he's not getting hit, I think we can remove that because he knew he wasn't getting hit in the spring game and he struggled with quiet feet. He struggled with getting through his reads. He struggled with throwing the ball away, all those different things. And so even though he's not getting hit now, I think that it bodes well for him in the future if he's able to have those quiet feet. Now, obviously, there's no big stage, right? But you guys were there, right? Big Ten Network was there. You were there. So, that's a stage, right? Even though it's not the biggest stage, it's not the stage he's going to be on. But it's a stage, right? And so it's baby steps with Bryce. And I believe that's how the coaching staff is looking at this. They're treating it with kid gloves. And when you have to treat it with kid gloves, you want to put him in the hottest fire possible without getting him hurt. Remember last year, I was adamant. I thought that they should have him tackled at some point, because it's going to be a rude awakening when the last time you were tackled was some kid that was worried about his Algebra 2 grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a big difference, right? It's a grown man versus a child, right? And so now that he's played a football season, obviously you don't have to put him through that as much. However, you got to do everything you can to make sure it's the most difficult experience of his life so that when he gets to the game, it can be maybe not necessarily smooth sailing, but it'll be an opportunity for him to make sure that he has felt the pressure, he's felt the heat, and now he can perform. And he's felt what it feels to make mistakes, right? Remember, last year, I made it very clear. I thought that they were making sure that he was successful in practice all the time, and I thought it was a huge mistake. I stood on the table. It was a huge mistake. Everything's so good. He's so great. What? He's a freshman. He played high school football less than 9 months ago. He can't be doing that great unless our defense is garbage, right? And we knew that was a lie, or it was them putting him in situations that are conducive to success in practice, which is the wrong thing to do.
Stacking the deck.
Stacking the deck, right? And so almost being fans, right? You're just a fan of some kid that is highly touted. And that's not what coaches are for. That's for the fans. The fans should be fans of the kid. Coaches should be disciplinarians. They should be creating scenarios, doing different things to make sure that the kid is ready, because that's true love, right? That's really how you show you care about a kid, by treating them like garbage and making sure that he fails as much as possible, because we know the only way forward is through failure. And that's with anything in life. This isn't just about quarterbacking, right? If you don't fail, right, and you're always just having success, right, you're going to get a false sense of security. And so that's what we had last year. It's very clear. And the fact that they're doing everything they can now, we don't know if they actually are, right? You went to practice and maybe that was that one day, whatever, but we'll see. The games are coming, man. The games are coming. The lip service is not something that we have to listen to for much longer, because the games are coming. But when I've talked to Beck, he made it a point to let me know that putting him under pressure is the most important thing, because that's the thing that he struggled with the most, right?
Yes.
And obviously, when it's shorts and T-shirts, the footwork's going to be great, right? Yeah. And I think that's what the previous staff got so enamored about. Oh, my God. Well, you're in shorts and T-shirts. If he can't throw and he was the number one quarterback in the country, that's a problem, okay? Yeah. Like, that's a problem. If he's the number one player in the country and he can't throw with shorts and T-shirts, everybody can throw. I can go out there and just make all the passes right now.
I could probably.
If I work with you for 2 weeks, I got you for 2 weeks, Jake. I'm telling you, you're going to look, oh, my God, this guy's got a long neck. He's tall. We're going to have to give him a shot.
Let's go.
But then people will start running at you. You know what I mean? And it'll kind of change. So, but, I feel encouraged. But like I said, the games have to be played first. And it doesn't feel great that the schedule's so tough. It doesn't feel great that OU is week 2. However, you got to do everything you can. I don't want to see any backups in the first game, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has to play the whole game. None of that, oh, my helmet's off, not shoulder pads off. They wouldn't go that far, I would hope, right? But helmet's off, I'm just cheering on my guys. No, it is time for work. You got to work on everything you need, because the fire is starting now, right? The very next game.
Yep. I think you brought up the key point here, which was, with BTN, we get to watch practice and then we do interviews with the players. Mm-hmm. And my interview with Bryce this year, completely different. Yeah. He was so much more grounded. There was humility. I was like, I see a kid becoming a man. I see a kid becoming a man. I was like, that's really encouraging. But then the interviews with the staff, I'm like, that's the biggest difference. When from Brady to Jim Harbaugh, when we went from 5 wins to 10 wins, what was the biggest difference? Was the staff. It's Kyle, it's Jason, it's Jay Hill defensively. I mean, there's nothing easy about going up against that defense. And by no means did Bryce have a perfect day. But I saw the progression fundamentally.
If he had a perfect day, that's a cause for concern.
It would be like what you said. They'd stack in the deck, which they weren't and they didn't. I came away. Actually, I want to start here. I came away thinking Savion Hyder and Jordan Marshall, and I look at the offensive line, and I look at the way the strength staff has changed the bodies of these players, and then Bryce's legs are going to be a big factor in this rushing game. And I came away thinking this is going to be a top 3 rushing attack in the country and the top rushing attack in the Big Ten. I'm almost willing to bet the house on it. I'm that confident. But off of that, I'm really excited.
Not my house.
Not your house, but that's AI. Maybe your AI house, but not your house. Andrew Marsh did not practice. So that meant we got a heavy dose of J.J. Buchanan. I don't need to see Andrew Marsh. He's a stud. J.J. Buchanan is an impressive-looking athlete. 6'6", long arms, great body control, contested catch, runs routes like he's 5'10", no indicators, and Bryce, big catch radius, and Bryce trusts him. I don't know. Maybe you have an opinion here, Dev, but I'm looking at Andrew Marsh and J.J. Buchanan as in terms of a top 2 wide receiver duo in recent Michigan history, it's up there with J.U. and Darbo, or Donovan Peoples-Jones and Nico Collins. Maybe, of course, they had Tariq Black. These guys are special, and they're freshmen. And I'm putting it all together, or sophomores. I'm putting it all together of an elite rushing attack with Bryce's legs, with talented young receivers with big catch radiuses. And I think the offense is going to be in a really good spot.
Yeah, I mean, and that's good to hear. But on the other side of the coin, right? You know about State Street and Main Street, and though Buchanan has played some football, he's never been in the big house, right? With that crowd depending on him, and that fan base depending on him, and you and I and everybody that's ever wore the wing helmet depending on him, right? And so I love it, right? I remember Mike Cox. You remember Mike Cox? That's a name from the past. I don't know. He used to be incredible on State Street, but on Main Street.
Thank God him and I didn't stand next to each other on the sidelines.
I know, right? He's like a Greek god, right?
Or the last names I was thinking, but neither here nor there.
But Cox, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Anyways,
just on State Street, incredible. Like, I thought that he was the greatest running back of all time. And this is not like a slight at Cox. He didn't get a bunch of opportunities. However, when he did get the few opportunities he just didn't produce on Main Street, right? And so for Buchanan, that's encouraging, right? Producing on State Street is where it starts. And it's exciting to have a 1-2 punch, right? Now, last year they had a 1-2 punch. Remember, I was the first one on the table saying we have 1A, 1B in Marsh and man, I forgot his name already. Jeez.
From Indiana.
Yeah. Really good player, right? Really good player. Catch radius. It sounds like you're describing him, honestly, right? Maybe just a tick.
He's bigger and better, in my opinion.
Just a tick smaller. Just a tick smaller.
Yeah.
But like we had 1A, 1B last year, and it just didn't work out the way we thought it would. And so, right, Buchanan.
Donovan McCulley, right?
Donovan McCulley, yes.
Okay, cool. Nice.
I think Buchanan, from everything that I've seen, he's a stud.
Yeah.
But he's on State Street right now. And I just don't love putting two, like I thought you were going Jeremy Gallon, Devin Funches too, because I think they got the record for a tandem, right? As far as like yards in season. I thought you were going there. And it's just like, I don't feel comfortable putting, right? Obviously, Andrew Marshall's proven he can play. Now, the schedule's a lot different, right? He played against a little less competition a year ago. And in the games against the really good teams, he didn't produce as much. Right now, is that a result of Bryce not producing? That's part of it as well. But Buchanan has not performed on Main Street against good or bad opponents, right? And it just doesn't feel comfortable to me because J.U. and Darbo, man, those guys. And part of it is you remember the work. We were in the locker room with them. I remember J.U. Chesson being a super student, super guy, and people questioning if he loved football, and him coming to me and saying, man, you do your homework, right? You're good at school. Why do they question how much I love football, but they don't do it for you? And me having to have conversations with him and how that really weighed on him in his journey in college football. And to see him go from that to dabbing in the end zone after running the kickback in the opening game. You know what I mean? Like that kind of work, I just don't feel comfortable putting two guys who haven't. Now, I'm sure they're working, but they haven't produced enough to be in the room with those guys just yet. Now, they could get in that room after week 2, in my opinion, right? But just right now, I just feel like they need to prove on Main Street in front of the people who, put money in their pockets at this point, that they are what you think they are.
It's fair. And look, I think that should be their mindset as well. Why not? They should be hungry. I'm more saying the talent is very, very impressive. Yeah. And to your point, remember the Ohio State game? We were breaking it down, and Marsh was open. Bryce missed them. So it's got to all come together. But what I love about Beck's offense is it's going to be hard to defend because of the fact it's complementary and layered. It's RPO. The run game's going to look like the pass game's going to look like the play action, and then Bryce's legs will be a great, great element. That's exciting. Defensively, I would say across the board, now that I've gone across the Big Ten, Michigan's trenches, the bodies on both lines of scrimmage stack up against anyone in the Big Ten.
How do they keep doing it? How do they keep doing it? You Lamar Woodley, Brandon Graham, Frank Clark, like it just keeps going and going all the way into today. Now, they don't have the names just yet. However, somebody's going to come out of this group and be Mason Graham and, guys like that. And
Ed is my breakout candidate. That's my guy right here.
And Jake, think,
looking dude.
think about all the people I named, from Lamar Woodley all the way to Mason Graham and Kenneth Walker, all these guys. The coaches are so different. It's not like they're retaining the same D-line coach or retaining the same defensive coordinator or retaining the same head coach. Like, Michigan, as much as we are so good at running the football and you want to run the football, you offensive line, all that, the defensive line is going very understated as far as the history of them being able to continue to produce guys, not just first rounders, but really talented players. Even if they don't go first round, right, they are very, very good as a unit. As far as college football goes, it is so impressive what they've been able to do, I guess we have been able to do on the defensive line throughout the years.
Especially on the inside. I mean, I absolutely agree. And it looks like it's not slowing down with Kyle's recruiting ability and with that staff as a whole. Linebackers remains to be like the big question. Yeah. I think they're going to be fine. They love Chase Taylor, but I that remains to be the big question. What I'm excited about was, one, shout out to Rod Moore. Shout out to Rod Moore. It is great to see him back out there. And the other guys, John Henry Daly coming off an Achilles, I sat down with both those guys. I'm like, they could run for political office one day. Great kids, great players, upperclassmen, leaders. The defense needs that. This secondary has something. Jair Hill is one of the best in the country. Already know that as an outside cornerback. Then Smith Snowden and Zeke Berry. I think Zeke Berry is maybe the most underrated DB in the conference. Smith Snowden, obviously he's transferring from Utah, so get ready to say his name. And they're all interchangeable, which seems to be important to Jay Hill. I don't know why yet, but we're going to see it on tape. I mean, I guess I can logically deduce why, but he seems to really put a ton of value on the fact that those guys can play inside, outside, boundary field, left, right. It doesn't matter. Yeah. This secondary, and as I look at the schedule, you're going to need it. Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, Penn State. A lot of these teams are going to have elite quarterback play and elite passing attacks. The secondary is in a great place. So I came away, I'm like, man, this team, if this team had last year's schedule, I'd bet the house on going to the playoffs. I absolutely would. It's just, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. It's just the schedule is in a tough spot. But Dev, Michigan's in a really, really good place.
I have to know, how difficult is it for you? Because, I don't think people, I'm sure that they got to know, but if they don't, I'll just say it. How much you love Michigan, right? Obviously from Ohio.
I know.
And you decide to go across the border. Most people say you're ridiculous for doing it, but I think it worked out pretty good for you.
It did.
How good is it to be impartial when you're going to this practice, right? When you're having to sit down and, like, do you almost become a fan? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how hard is it to, right, essentially do your job, right? You know what I mean? Because, like, you love Michigan. You bleed maize and blue, and, before it gets to oxygen, it changes colors. But we're not going to talk about that. How difficult is it for you while you're going through and watching to not get too excited?
Now, I'll say this. I get excited. But I get excited everywhere too. I just get excited for good football. It is hard. That's the hardest piece here. The only thing I could come back to, and first off, I think the best part about going back to practice is seeing the people. Like Phil Johnson, rehab my first ACL with him. Really, the whole. I see Doc V there. I see. Just all the people. There was other. Freddie J's walking around like. Yeah. That's the part that's special.
Eating boiled eggs. Like, Freddie J, your farts are going to be ridiculous.
Steady
what are you doing,
come,
dude?
Though, baby.
My goodness.
But I just try to be honest. I know to me, I just want to be honest about, I wasn't on the Ohio State Big Ten Network show, so I tweeted what I would have said. It was just my honest take. Michigan, it's my honest take. I want to see Michigan win and succeed at the highest level, but as far as analysis goes, I try to give my honest take. I'm pretty sure you're the same.
Yeah, 100%. People get confused about it. It's like, hold on, our loyalty lies in one place, but we have a job to do. And honestly, would you rather have us lie and get you all excited so now your Saturdays are miserable?
Some people would.
Exactly. You want the truth, man. You want the truth. Yeah. And in reality, you want the truth, because if we sit here and lie and don't give you our organic opinions about what we think based off of what we've seen in our experience as players and as, not necessarily coaches, but people who cover the game like coaches, right? We're studying just as much as those guys, maybe not as much, but we're studying both teams, right? So they're not studying themselves as much as we have to study both teams. We will be doing everybody a disservice. And that's why I know Jake said 15, but we're Michigan, are we not? are we not?
Push.
Who are
Push. Push.
we? OU's
Push.
coming. OU's coming to
Push.
town. I say 20 by OU. Right? We're not
20 by
gonna
OU.
put it there because you're gonna get 2 weeks for the first game. Right? But obviously, I think it goes without saying 15 for the first game. Yeah. I say 20 OU, and that was your idea, and you didn't want to push it to him. You didn't want to push it.
That's why you're my quarterback, baby. That's why you're my quarterback.
I'm pushing it. Go get us 20. Go get us 20 because we are Michigan, right? And you get the truth here, and I don't think it's even close at this point. At first, it was a little bit of a debate on like the best Michigan show, and now I think it's fairly clear. No,
nope. You're exactly right. 20K, that's going to require, hey, viewers, you're going to have to send it to friends and family and get them to hit that like button and subscribe button. I've been in the airport, obviously traveling for the camp tour. I've met at least one Blueprint fan every time I've went to the airport. So if you're watching, shout out to you guys. Subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed and send your friends. But let's step aside, Dev. First break. On the other side, we're going to take a look at the schedule. Devin and I will both tell you and rank the top 5 hardest games this year. That's on the other side of the break. All right, welcome back to the Blueprint. We're going to continue to remind you guys, hit that like button, that subscribe button, send it to your friends. We're pushing for 20K. 20K.
By OU. You got some time.
Oklahoma. Let's go. And then I'm on the call for week 3. So that'd be awesome if I'm entering the week 3 Michigan week call with our goal hit. So that's the challenge. Dev, tons of games to choose from here. No scarcity in terms of challenging opponents for Michigan. So we're going to break it down from 5th being the least hard. Well, number 1 is the hardest game, and we'll work our way down top 5 hardest games. You could have the floor, man. You could kick us off.
You want to start at 5, huh?
Okay.
Let's start at 5. Penn State. And there are two big reasons. One, nobody knows what they're bringing except for Iowa. All right. So it's just the unknown is terrifying. 2, Rocco Beck, veteran quarterback. We know how difficult it is for teams to go against veteran quarterbacks, and he's adding an element to his game as far as running the football that I think has come to a head here in his final season, and he's going to be difficult to deal with.
Okay. I have seen their practice. Penn State's tough. I could have put them in there too. I like Michigan's roster a lot more. I'm going Iowa at number 5, and I'm almost wondering if I'm going to kick myself for not having them higher, just for the strict reason that Iowa lulls you to sleep. It's like you don't see anything special.
Very
on
boring.
film. You're like, we should beat these guys. We got them at home,
and then boom.
And then and they're outside of the top 100 in returning production, but they love their team. I'm going there Monday for practice, so maybe we could review this on next week's show. I got Iowa at number 5.
Okay. My 4 is OU. 2 reasons. Venables defense, right? Against a young quarterback. We saw what happened last year, right? It happens all the time, right? He's a defensive mastermind for so many years at Clemson, and now as the head coach at OU. And they got a Heisman candidate at quarterback, right? So great defense and an extremely talented, motivated quarterback. I think that's terrifying to deal with.
That I got Oklahoma at 4 as well for the exact same reasons. And just to expand on that, it's the defense, but to go back to what you're saying in the prior segment of having elite fundamentals when bullets are flying, bullets literally fly when Oklahoma plays defense. Like they're coming after you. So, and then on the flip side, with it being week 2, new defense, new defensive coordinator, I fully believe in Jay Hill in this unit. Mateer is a scrambler and a playmaker, and those are always dangerous things to game.
No matter how good you are as a coordinator.
Period. Yeah, period. So I got him at 4 as well.
All right. I think our 3-2-1 is going to be different. Very different.
I'm curious. Yeah, I want to see.
I got 3, Cignetti and Josh Hoover at Indiana. And those are the 2 reasons. Cignetti and Josh Hoover. I really think that Cignetti, obviously, he speaks for himself. I don't have to say anything about him. I'm sick of talking about him. And it's not because of anything negative. He's just so good. I'm tired of it. It's gonna be, how like LeBron, how he's just so great that the people just make up stuff and just be hating on him. This is what's gonna happen with Cignetti, and I'm starting it. See, I'm sick of it. I want to talk about Cignetti, even though I love Cignetti. He's great. But Josh Hoover, I think that the best thing that could have ever happened to him was getting with Cignetti, who has turned every single quarterback that he's had in the first year to the quarterback of the year in the conference. And Josh Hoover has extreme talent. And I don't bet against Cignetti anymore.
Cool. We are different. I got Oregon at number 3,
Mhm.
and I got Indiana at 2, so just to bury the
Yeah.
lead. Reason being is Oregon's later in the season, and I think by then Bryce will be more battle tested. The offense will be more battle tested. Both though, I've seen Indiana. I know Oregon. Indiana and Oregon have the 2 deepest defensive lines in college
Yeah.
football. Both those defenses are elite. So
Yeah.
you're splitting hairs. I'm kind of just saying Oregon, it will be easier because it's later in the season. And then I got Indiana at number 2. I can't add anything else than what you said. That staff is
Yeah.
absolutely elite.
Yeah. So 2-1.
Who do you got?
And I was going back and forth, and like you said, it's splitting hairs. I'm trying to find like, well, what this venue is very important, right? So I got OSU at 2, Oregon at 1,
Ooh.
and here's why: OSU 113-13 since 2010, but not a single player on that team has won in the shoe. So obviously it's away and it's tough.
What was that stat? 113 and
113-13 at the shoe, right? They're at home, 113-13, which is great, right? It's incredible.
Yep.
However, it's the game, and we know it's different. And not one player on that roster has beaten Michigan in the shoe, right? A lot of pressure comes with that. And as much as the pressure be on Michigan because they're away, I think it's a lot of pressure to win in the shoe and let your fans see that victory, and nobody there has experienced it. And then Oregon, number 1, 101-15, where OSU is a little bit better since 2010. 101-15 is really good as well.
Yep.
But nobody on the Michigan roster has ever. I don't even think they haven't been to Austin, let alone beating Oregon. Like, that's not something that happens, right? 101-15 is incredible. And people just don't go into Austin and win. And so when you're splitting hairs, you got to find the small intricacies that, prove why which game is hard. And I just think the fact that nobody on Michigan's roster has any, recollection of not only beating them, they don't know what to expect even playing there, right?
Yeah.
And for Ohio State, they don't know what it's like to beat Michigan at Ohio State.
Yeah. Autzen is if you're watching this as a Michigan fan, you have an opportunity to
incredible.
Go to that game. It is because the stadium's like a little, they're not half of Ohio State, but they might as well be. And yet it's so loud and raucous in there.
It's great.
I got Indiana at 2. I mentioned this in Ohio State at 1. And I think that one of the big reasons for me why I have those harder than Oregon is the coordinators. Again, Oregon has 2 new coordinators. Yeah. Indiana has the head coach and both coordinators, really special teams, all 3 coordinators proven. And then Ohio State, you have 2 NFL background coordinators.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia, nothing needs to be said there. And then obviously Arthur Smith. And I was at practice what's today? Friday? Yeah, I was at Ohio State's practice yesterday. And the thing about the NFL, Dev, as you know, is the talent discrepancy. Everybody's talented. So how do you win in the NFL? Scouting, game planning, and situational football. And that's where Ohio State fell short in their biggest moments last year. I think they're going to be even better this year with Arthur Smith, which means therefore it's going to be even more challenging to beat them, of course, on the road. So, gosh, the schedule is just so brutal, Dev. What do you think is the key? Like, if you're thinking about this, it's got to be mental at this point, right? Like, what do you think is the keys to Michigan to navigate this schedule?
So I actually have been thinking a little ahead, right? I skipped the first game and been thinking about OU. So I want to give like keys for OU, which I think are also coincidentally keys for the season, right? Because what OU does, a lot of people are going to try to replicate, in my opinion, if they have great success with it, right? And so the first thing I think, 3 things. I think that they have to have a plan for cover 0 for Bryce, right? We know what they're going to do. They're going to bring pressure. Venables has done it for years. He's had success with it. He's not going to change, right? They got to have a plan for cover 0. And then they got to establish a positive quarterback rushing attack, right? So last season, OU was really, really good. They were really, really good, except for when they played quarterbacks that only rushed for about, 34 yards. 34 yards. In their losses, they averaged giving up 43 and a half yards to the quarterback. Is that a lot, Jake? No. You don't got to break the game. However, it's enough, right? So that was the average, and that was a really good rushing defense. But in those games, for the most part, they lost. When they gave up 34 yards plus, they lost. And that's in rushing from the quarterback, right? And I think that Bryce is fully capable of that, right? And so the third thing is they got to hit the big plays when they're available. You cannot leave plays on the field. And when, like I said, it's for OU, but also for the season ahead. The season is far too difficult. The margins are going to be far too small. When you have an opportunity to make a big play, whether on offense or defense, you have to make the play. Let me reiterate. You have to make the play, period. The moment can never be too big because you don't have the leeway that you did a season ago. I think that that's those three things. If you do those, I think you're going to win most of your games, honestly.
I love that, especially the having a plan for zero. If not, you could just say pressure because teams are going to pressure a young quarterback until he proves to make you pay. I think for me, I look at the easy low hanging fruit is the keys to the season is the defense being top 5, top 10 in the country to make every game close. Special teams, therefore, need to step up, and then Bryce needs to play smart football. That's obviously obvious stuff. So I think the other key is I look at the youth of the offense. And I'm saying your quarterback's 18 going on 19, 2 sophomore, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Running back 1A/B is a true freshman.
Yeah.
The maturity and the leadership and the ability as a head coach in Kyle Whittingham and a play caller in Jason Beck to have your thumb on the temperature of the youth within that room.
Yeah.
You're going to go through growing pains. I think that they're past most of it, but they are still young and it's inevitable. You still go through growing pains even as a senior. It's minor at that point.
Shit, I'm going through growing pains right now.
Literally, we all do. So I just the leadership and culture, I think, is they're going to have to navigate and stick together. They're going to lose one of those games. They might lose 2 of those games. How they respond internally and mentally to adversity, I think, is going to be so important for the season.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if they go 10-2 and make the playoffs year
one?
It'd
be incredible.
Are
you willing to get on the table about that? That they will?
Yet, I want to, let's see Oklahoma win.
That's so messed up by me. Why would I put you in that position? It's ridiculous.
I think it's fair though, right?
Yeah, but we'll get a chance to judge very quickly. Week 2 is coming. Like week 2 is not that far. It's 4 weeks away, right? Wait, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, we'll know all we need to know about Michigan.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think we're both excited about this season. We both see progress. Go finish camp strong. Hey, you want to know another thing I found out, Dev? Guess where they stay? Guess where they stay for? Brady, we stayed in the hotel, which was nice, right? Jim, we stayed in a dorm without air conditioning. Guess where these guys stay? They're pros. Not even the hotel.
Oh, so they're pros. I mean, they are pros now. So
they're literally pros. They're pros. They're
unless you play for the Steelers, because we had to go to Latrobe.
Oh, damn!
Devastating.
In the NFL, did you have air conditioning at least?
Devastating.
Oof.
Air mattress.
Yeah.
Even though some air mattresses are comfortable.
I'm glad the game is evolving from that. It is crazy.
No, they still go to Latrobe. Still do.
Oh my God, they do?
Yeah, they're in Latrobe as we speak. It's ridiculous. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is in a dorm. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No thanks. No thanks. All right, well, that'll do it. We will be back. Regular scheduled program. We will record on Wednesday, and the show will be out very shortly after that. So one more reminder, like, subscribe, send to your friends. It's the push to 20K. We appreciate you guys for always tuning in.
Jake, I have to tell you something. I don't know if you knew or not. Football is like very here. Let's go. We appreciate you guys for tuning into the Blueprint.